Okay, so the LILJ is joined right now by Brooke Magnuson of Top Tier. Brooke is the lead recruiting coach at Top Tier. Brooke, how's it going here this afternoon? Thanks for joining me.
Hey, Ellis, thank you so much for having me. All is good. Excited to be here.
Absolutely. Thanks for taking some time just to join me on this interview. In this interview, we just want to talk a little bit about your background and about top tier recruiting and all the benefits that it's provided and continues to provide in helping athletes find their home as they begin their recruiting process. So really, like the first thing I kind of want to ask you, Brooke, is if you can just kind of tell the people a little bit about your lacrosse background, even going back to your days as a player. Of course, you were a collegiate player at the University of Maryland, also coached at Jacksonville, but just kind of tell the people just a little bit about your lacrosse background.
Yeah, so I grew up in Annapolis, Maryland. I played for Broadneck High School, lived in a community called Sherwood Forest, Maryland, and just loved lacrosse. Didn't start until I was in sixth grade and fell in love with it really fast. Um, had a great high school career. Had the privilege to, receive a full ride to play at Maryland. Gary Gate and Cindy Timshaw came to my house and sat on my couch and offered me and my family. And that day was very special. Had an awesome career at Maryland. Had made the best memories, the best friends. Learned so much. I played for 4 years under Cindy Timshaw. My senior year was Cindy's last year at Maryland, so I did get Kathy my freshman year as an assistant along with Jen Adams. I had Kenneth. I had a lot of great coaches in my 4 years at Maryland, but I find myself very privileged because I had so many incredible coaches that I've learned from, and had a unique story. Dated my high school boyfriend through college. He went to the Naval Academy and played lacrosse there. Got married 2 weeks out of college, and we moved. And that's where my lacrosse coaching career really launched. And so the Navy took us to non-traditional areas, and that's where I've lived for the last 18, 19 years. And have had the privilege, like you said, I got to, with the McCord, start the program at Jacksonville University with them, was offensive coordinator, the recruiting coordinator. I've worked with numerous clubs. I helped start Lax Maniacs with the McCords way back in the day. So just have had my hand in a lot of buckets and loved it. I'm very thankful, most importantly, for the people I've met along the way.
Now, you said like having your hand in a lot of buckets and kind of wearing a lot of different hats along your lacrosse journey. Now, with the evolution of being able to dive into helping athletes get recruited, how is that something that kind of started for you? And how did that passion really develop with helping the student athletes find their future home at the collegiate level and trying to guide them on the right path?
Yeah, the recruiting journey is not easy. I actually say to people all the time, it's a horrible experience. It sucks, like it's tough. I just don't like to sugarcoat it. Even the best athletes in the country still have a difficult road, and so kind of leaning in. That's where we launched Top Tier, but kind of going back years ago, I realized how difficult it was. Even then, it's only getting harder as the years go on, but really I realized that my mission field is to partner with families and athletes and and just hold their hand, guide them, take them through that process. And so many years ago, especially living in a non-traditional area, I learned these kids had less resources. They didn't get the looks that the kids up north got. That's obviously changing as the years have gone by, which is a testament to the talent growth and how awesome many non-traditional areas have become. But it's still a difficult process. So really just diving into that and helping athletes and parents learn to navigate it, because every journey is so different that that's really where my passion grew, is connecting with people and helping them through that process.
Yeah, and you're talking about, which I think is really interesting, being able to guide those players that may come from non-traditional lacrosse areas, places that aren't designated hotspots, so to speak, and like how it may even be more difficult for them. So like if you can kind of talk about just how important it is in like being able to guide those athletes and really it not really mattering like where you come from, where you live, where you play lacrosse, but being able to kind of help create that path for anyone and everyone to ultimately find their future home.
Yeah, I think I'll start by saying even the athletes that live in a hotbed or play for one of the most well-known prestigious clubs, there's still so much that they could be doing in their recruiting journey, outside of the benefits of working with their club coaches and their club directors and whatnot. So kind of diving into the non-traditional areas where clubs may not be as well known. Again, that times have changed, but there still are many non-traditional areas that are in this boat. And I think for them, it's understanding that recruiting now is a lot about marketing yourself, whereas before kids could ride the wave of the success of their club team. And sure, that still could be today, but now with recruiting, and especially with roster caps coming into effect and things changing with the NCAA, there will be limited spots, and the transfer portal is getting more exciting and popular. So, the best kids out there that play for the best clubs are still going to have challenges that they face in the recruiting process, even though they don't live in non-traditional areas. So it's about creating a roadmap to recruiting. And that's something that I am very passionate about. And I have a very 15 years of success of developing that has evolved every year, every recruiting cycle. It's not the same. And I think that's a big thing. A lot of people recruit the same way they did even 3 years ago. It's just different. And so that's something that I pride myself on, is we're always evolving, staying humble, and adjusting as we can go, because there's ups and downs through the journey on all sides.
Yeah, now with top tier and just being able to kind of create that path and help the athletes along the way, like how have you seen just the growth in that? And I do think it's really interesting how like the recruiting process, it can kind of change and be very different over the course of a handful of years. So how has that been, just being able to evolve with top tier and being able to kind of make those adjustments and kind of change how you may approach these types of things as things continue to evolve?
I'm so thankful for top tier and my amazing partners, the people that have quickly become family. And I think the vision in top tier recruiting was, how do we take what I've been doing for so long now, with athletes and families, and take it to an area that it could help everyone in the country, or out of the country. We've got incredible subscribers in Canada and England, and so that's been the mission, is how do we expand it? How do we feel like we can help and touch families all over the country, all over the world? And we're doing that. And it's been really cool to see. And, it's like, again, it's an evolving, growing platform, but it first and foremost is an educational platform where we are guiding athletes and parents, individually and together. There are times when athletes need a message and parents need a message separately, or obviously together, but where we're doing that, where we can help athletes and parents navigate their journey with confidence. Because again, we are all kind of walking blind up until September 1st. Some of us are lucky enough to have club coaches call and say, hey, this school reached out, but even then you still don't know if you're going to get the call. So it's really understanding like what steps to take, how to move forward, and how to do it with confidence, to know that you are actively, hunting for the right schools.
Now, one of the things that top tier provides is, or some of the many things that top tier provides, whether it's webinars, courses, Q&As, for anyone that's subscribed to top tier, just kind of talk about, I guess, a little bit in depth, just about what people can learn or take away from these webinars, where you have so many different voices, so many different people out there that can provide such great information for both the athlete and the parents as they get set for that recruiting process. So just kind of talk about some of the different tools and different resources that are available for people with top tier.
Yeah. So first and foremost, we're building a community that empowers athletes and parents to make this journey in a keyword connected way. And so with these webinars, our interviews, all the information in our library that will continuously be growing for years to come. We're interviewing college coaches, college athletes. We're interviewing kids who just went through the process, 26s, for example, parents who've been through the process. We're interviewing people who aren't even lacrosse players. Maybe they play professional in another sport. Just helping have different voices and different stories, so that when, let's say, a 2027 who's on deck for their big summer, they can come in and they can watch a series of interviews and go, you know what, I don't identify with her. That's not really how I feel my recruiting process might go. Oh, but I do with her. And, I want to lock in with that athlete, or I really am in a line with what this coach is saying. And I like the culture she's sharing, and I like her vibe. So it just allows for athletes to connect in a very different way than what has traditionally been done in the recruiting process, which is just go to camps, just go to clinics. Now we have social media you can study, but top tier recruiting is bringing a whole different style of connecting, and how we like to call it doing your due diligence in the recruiting process and doing your research to kind of learn more about schools and, again, how other athletes have gone in the past. And so in our platform, again, it's an educational platform. We have so much outside of the interviews, but there will be um, um, emails to reference, how to attack planning out a summer schedule. I mean, so much that goes, every little thing that goes into recruiting will be accessed, to our subscribers in the back end of our website. And again, it will continue to grow and it will evolve, because what happened for the 26s is going to be different for the 27s.
Yeah, 100%. Things are constantly changing and kind of like on the move and on the fly. So that adjustment is definitely key, and just kind of like staying with the times and things like that. So another question that I had for you, kind of talking about the golden tier aspect of top tier. If you could just kind of talk about a little bit about the golden tier part of top tier, and just how athletes can apply for that, and really what the golden tier provides for the athletes.
Yeah, so the golden tier, it's essentially what I've been doing for the last 14, 15 years. And athletes do have to apply on our website. And when you apply, your information that you submitted goes into, basically, we'll call it our portal. But we have a team of people that go through it, do a lot of research. They make a lot of phone calls. They do a lot of studying, a lot of film watching, and essentially, when the team determines if that athlete is eligible for golden tier, they receive an email with a welcome packet into our program. And what the golden tier package is, our golden tier athletes are getting that very handheld experience where they they have a personalized recruiting coach in myself and my team. We have an incredible team of people that back me. A lot in lacrosse recruiting, just like in regular job applications, is about connecting. And if I don't have a close relationship with a college coach, but someone on my team does, if we can get doors open for athletes, we will any way we can. And ultimately, we always say we can help get the door open. It's up to the athlete to get themselves through that door, but we will help them through that process. So, it's pretty cool. The golden tier package is special. It's where we get very close with those families and those athletes, and we basically are with them, again, holding hands until they say yes to hopefully their dream school. So it's an exciting ride.
Now, with the game of lacrosse just continuing to grow and evolve, and open up so many opportunities for athletes out there, is this something that you kind of envision? Did you ever envision a brand like Top Tier getting to this level and really being able to just have so much success, and being able to help so many players along the way from all over the map, being able to find their journey and find their future home?
Yes, it has always been a dream of mine. Again, I've been doing recruiting through my former business for 14, 15 years. Again, it's my mission field, it's my passion. A lot of people run away from the recruiting process. I dive in head first. Again, it's not easy, but I love it. I love to see the growth of athletes, the community that gets built around a family through the journey. And top tier recruiting, honestly, it's a dream of mine, and it would not have been possible without my incredible team. So I couldn't be more grateful. And I've got the most incredible partners, and you know, together we are building something really special. And I know it's just gonna continue. Again, the whole goal for top tier recruiting is just to help athletes and parents navigate their recruiting process confidently using our educational platform. And I believe that we can do that. And I believe that we can help change the recruiting scene for people. So it's not as scary, even though, it's difficult.
Well, Brooke, I just want to thank you for taking the time to join me on this interview. just to dive into all things top tier recruiting and just continuing to see it grow and evolve. And again, just you being able to uphold that mission statement and really just help so many athletes along the way find their path. Like you said, the recruiting process, it's definitely not easy. It could be scary at times as well. But I just want to thank you for taking the time to join me and really just kind of give the lacrosse audience out there, for those that may be very familiar with top tier, but those that may not be familiar with top tier, just a little bit about it, just so that when the time comes, because year in and year out, there's so many athletes out there that are going to be going through that process. So I just want to thank you for taking the time to join me today.
Awesome, Ellis. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thanks, Brooke.
All right.